everyone, K Kim here. Welcome to the market update. Again, my name is K Kim with the Traders Club. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you had a good week trading this week thus far. Today's September. It is September 8th, 2017, Friday. Market should be open another 2 hours as I record this video. We're getting into a fall trading days here. Hope you guys are enjoying the fall weather wherever you are. And market is holding up quite well so far. So let's go and look at and see how they're doing. Today we're going to be looking at Spider, IWM, Qs. I'm going to look at also banks. Today what I want to do, actually I want to look at the FANG stocks: Apple, Tesla, Netflix, Facebook, Amazon, and Google. And then we'll call it a night. Let's look at Spider here quickly. We are holding, you know what, I'm actually gonna adjust this a little bit right there. So we are kind of a sandwich between 247 and 245 on Spider. What we can able to see right now is, remember last week I gave you that 20 EMA here. 20 EMA is on 20 EMA is, I'm pretty sure, is on close. Right. So if you are following my moving averages, 20 MA is on close, 50 MA is on low, 100 SMA is on high, right? So those are the moving averages. You can see that 100 SMA on high has been acting as support here and here. 50 MA actually has been acting as support in the past, and 20 MA. See, this is what happened here. What is it? This is Tuesday. Tuesday we came to the market, we gapped down, we saw the evening star reversal, and then we saw the sell up. Where do you think we found support? On that 20. So right now, this is how we're going to look at the market. As long as the price stays above the rising 20, it's this line right there. Benefit of the Dow goes to benefit of the Dow goes to buyers in the minor term. And as long as the price stays above 50, benefit of the Dow goes to the buyers in the intermediate term. Same with 100, 150. They're pretty much close by right now. So as long as we stay above 50 and 100, benefit of the Dow goes to the buyers in the intermediate term. You know, talk about primary term, obviously 200 is up there. So many people are talking about that, S&P 500 should come down to 236. No, not should. You should remove the vocabulary should in trading, because nothing should have to, the market doesn't have to do anything. It shouldn't do anything. Right? People been talking about 200 SMA since January, telling you, the shorts been saying that we're gonna come down to 200 SMA since January. They talked about it in March, didn't happen. They talked about it in April, didn't happen. They talked about it in May, didn't happen. They talked about it in July, didn't happen. They talked about it in August, didn't happen. Right? And you might say, well, maybe this time is different. Well, how many times are you going to tell yourself maybe this time's different and just miss out this whole move, right? So until we see evidence of that happening, we're going to continue to look at this market, as in a bullish uptrend. You can see that we have established this rising uptrend channel support. This is a good sign, because a lot of times, it's because that means we're still in an uptrend, higher lows and higher highs as these moving as we move higher. So as long as we kind of bound by this channel, I believe that the market is going to continue to move higher. So last week on the weekend, on the market update video, we talked about how the worst case scenario, there's a good chance we see a pullback. You're gonna see some of these level holds. That's what we held. So right now, what it possibly looked like is, it looked like it could potentially be, potentially some kind of a bull pennant, bull flag type of pattern. Well, bull flag, bull pennant type of pattern didn't pan out last time. You can see that right there. It looked like some kind of bull flag, bull pennant. Well, that failed to the downside. So I would have to say 55 chance it could move higher, 45 chance it could move lower. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. I mean, there might another possible scenario potentially be inverted head and shoulder continuation, right? So we got this left shoulder here, kind of a right shoulder, potentially right shoulder, and then move higher, right? So we got the rising 20 MA. So I want to continue to give benefit of doubt to the buyers in the minor term. Let's see how it plays out really. So let's say if we do break lower next week, and if this thing continues lower, let's say slides lower next week, then we want to see 245. I think the worst case scenario, you want to see that 50 and 100 SMA acting as support once again, because they did act, the 100 act as strong support here and here. 50 was strong support back in July and back in May, so we can't just dispute the fact that 50 is in that area as well. So if it does come down, I think 240, 244-ish is a level to watch early next week. However, if we do break higher from this bull flag above the rising 50, there's a good chance that we could get back up and retest that kind of a rising channel there. And so let's see how it plays out. The gap is still remains open. Another scenario might be we kind of start to fizzle and we see a gap up and then just kind of completely ignoring, just completely jumping over this fence here. That could be another scenario. So we'll see how it plays out here, but overall trend is up. I want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers. I think if a bears was going to flush this thing down possibly to 200 SMA, I think they should have done it here. They should have done it right there. Why? Because we already cultivated a lower high and we cultivated a lower low, and this could have been a massive bull trap right there because on this gap up, because we saw the last several months here where we've been seeing these kind of an uptrend bullish move, and it all happened with the gap up. So I think it's kind of in here, there's a gap up here also. So I think, and also right here we see the gap ups right there. So it's been kind of conditioned that the traders that there's a kind of a significant gap up after a correctional move, correctional decline. A lot of times it can continue higher. I think this was kind of, it rattled a lot of short-term traders, and then we saw another flush. So I think if the bears was gonna do it, they should have done it here with the lower highs and lower lows. Now that it has come up to, come up to close to near all-time highs, this is at the level that, I don't think the bears can do anything. I mean, we already cultivated a higher high here. And I know what the bears going to say. This is, well, double top. Double top. I mean, how many times are you going to call double top here? Bears are calling the same thing up here. That was a double top, didn't play out. Well, bears are calling it up here. That was a double top, well, didn't play out. Well, bears are calling it up here. That was a double top, didn't play out. Well, bears are calling it up here. Well, failed miserably. And bears calling it once again double top. You see what I'm saying? There's always something. They're always calling something, right? For this, if this gonna become a double top, I'll tell you that what we want to see, this thing coming all the way down, breaking below it, and then getting back up, retesting it, and then seeing the rejection, right? If we see something like that, then that is a legitimate double top, right? Until that happens, we have to give benefit of the doubt to the buyer. Why do I always say benefit of the doubt, right? Because nobody knows. I'm talking in a sense of probability. That's what you should be doing, right? That's all we got is a probability. Can you tell me 100% that this is going to be double top? No, none of us can, right? So what I like to see, what we want to do when we do technical analysis, instead of trying to call things and trying to just make things up, work with the data that is at hand, tangible data at hand. All the analysis I've done this morning or just now was the data that is at hand. Can we agree with me that this is a rising channel support? Am I making that up? No, because it is acting as resistance, acting as support, higher lows, higher highs. That's a channel. I'm not making that up. Did I say that we're rising above 20? Am I making that up? No. Did I say that we're holding above 100 SMA? We did hold 120. Did I say, oh yeah, 100 SMA is gonna get hold? No, I didn't make that up. I saw it. I saw that 100 is holding. Did I say that 50 MA is important moving average because why? Did I make that up? No. I saw it here in July, I saw it in May, and I saw it in April and March. That's what, see, so when we do analysis, technical analysis, we don't want to make things up, what's not there. What we want to do is we want to analyze the data that is at hand. So what we don't want to do is that, well, right away, oh yeah, that's going to be a double top. Where? What do we see that? We don't see it at breaking below. We don't see any evidence of that as of now. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm saying is that you know what I mean? The double top scenario has been, people have been saying that since how many times, right? I mean, that this should have been a double top. This should have been a triple top right there. Top, top, top. You know what I mean? So when we start to rise in an uptrend, it is less likely that double top is going to form. A lot of times what they do is sometimes they form a double top similar pattern, and then it just scares hell out of everybody, and then it just moves higher. So always do your analysis based on the tangible data at hand, tangible facts. The facts are we have cultivated equal highs here. The facts are we are above the 20, 50, and 100. The facts are we are in this rising channel support. The facts are we are in the intermediate term uptrend, and we're in the primary term uptrend, and we have to say that we're in a minor term uptrend because we have now cultivated high, higher, low, higher, low. So if he pulls back, possibly another higher low. Those are the facts. I'm not making things up. If people always like to make things up here. Left shoulder head, oh, right shoulder. They make things up. See, that didn't happen. That's not what happened. So if you call this a double top, you're making things up. Stop making things up, right? You gotta work with what's at hand. What's the tangible data at hand? Did I say that this is a kind of a bull pennant, bull flag pattern? Yes, because it's there. I can see it. But I didn't say that it's gonna move, it's gonna break out higher. It's a 50-50, 55-45 situation, because a lot of times these bull flags sometimes does fail. Sometimes it plays out like this bull. This was a long drawn out bull flag, but this actually played out. So I'm not sure how this thing is gonna play out. I wanna see how it plays out next week. Russell 2000, we're holding where it has to hold. This is a kind of a strong level there, important level there. This is a level to hold here. We're holding about 20 and 50. That's a good sign. It also looks like potentially a bull flag pattern, but I don't want to say that it could break out higher. It could, but it's sometimes it could break higher or break lower. If it does break lower, I want to see if we can kind of hold this level here. If we do hold that level, possibly we can get back up. If we do get back up, that potentially be invert head and shoulder. If we do come down and then move higher. But the thing about it is I do think there's a higher probability if we do lose that and come down, and I think it's going to cultivate higher low. Why do you think that? Because we cultivated higher high. That high is definitely lower than this high. That's higher high. That's why I think if we do come down, kind of lose this level, then we can cultivate higher low before moving higher. But let's say if this thing was like a lower low, let's say if this thing kind of came up and then we lost it here, then there's a chance we make lower low. Then that's a warning signal, because then we're cultivating kind of a lower highs, and then this thing comes up and then makes another lower high. Instead, we got up, create a higher high. You see what I'm saying? But so if we come down, there's a chance we might do something like that. Or if we break out of this bull flag to the upside, continuation. So that's we're kind of holding these levels, you know, not a huge deal for somebody like me who trades much longer term, but if you're really, really short term, trying to figure out if it's going to move higher or not, that's pretty much 50-50 at this point. So let's see how that plays out. But so far it's holding up well here. NASDAQ, Q's been just pretty much, we get a new all-time high and then it pulls back. You know, how many times do you think people call this double top, right? Well, that wasn't a double top. You see that for that, again, that the people are making things up. For that double top to happen, what you wanted to see is this thing goes up, come all the way down to the neckline, and then breaks below the neckline, retests the neckline, and then gets rejected. Why the retest is more? Because a lot of times it breaks below it, and then just B-shapes higher, and, you know, scares everybody out, and everybody just stunned. A lot of stuff, kind of like stuff like that happens in the market. This is a stock market. Without those kind of head fakes and shenanigans, it's not a market. Once you start trading this market, you signed up for this. So you shouldn't be crying just because the market is do shenanigan, right? So we're holding above it. We're holding above 20 MA. We got a lot of these supports coming in here. We got a lot of uptrend support. So you could kind of grind. We could possibly even form some kind of a triangle pattern. We'll see how that plays. I don't, you know, I don't want to make anything up here. Like, oh, I think there could be a, you know, channel, or oh, there could be maybe a rising wedge. You know, there could be rising wedge, and boom, we might that if I said that to you guys, then I'm making crap up. I'm not. I don't want to make things up. Right now, what we have is we got higher lows and higher highs. We don't have any evidence that it's gonna break down, so we just need more evidence, right? Let's go to the banks. I know banks we saw recently kind of a pullback here. We broke below that support, but we're retesting that. I can actually go ahead and right there, so I can kind of connect these there. So that's a new support there. We are now finally retest. So now we have the small caps retest the 200 SMA, and we got now the banks retesting the small caps, or 200 SMA. This is a 200 SMA there, that pink. So this is a prior support. So this is a strong support there, because this level has been very, very pivotal level right there. You can see that resistance, and then became support. So we're right back at it. I think let's see. Yeah, so we got that gap up there. There's a gap down. So it needs to gap back above 24.76 for the minor term trend to shift to bullish. Right now, minor term trend is bearish. We do have an intermediate term, primary term uptrend, potentially be higher low. Tough call right now. We do have a bullish bell toll or harami kind of type of pattern. Needs a follow through. Needs to gap back above 24.76 for bullish. For the trend to shift back bullish there. So we're holding the 200 SMA. Let's see how that plays out here. Let's go to Apple. What I wanted to talk about in Apple is this one right here. So what we're seeing, let me get rid of that. I want you to kind of look at this right there. So this is a MACD weekly chart of Apple, right? This is 2012 bearish divergence, and this is 2014 kind of a slight divergence, not so much though, but there was kind of a lot of coiling happened there. And then 2017 today, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but we're slightly curling down on these MACD there. For that to confirm, we need to see this thing curling back down. You see that? Curling back down. So let's say if this thing starts to do that, that will be a strong bearish divergence. So it's kind of a cautionary signal on Apple right there. So you can see right here, boom, boom, we got that some downturn. You got this was a strong bearish divergence back in 2012. Gives a strong bearish divergence, and we got that bearish divergence happening here. Not only then on RSI, right there, and RSI, and then so those are the kind of a warning signal. I don't have any positions in Apple. If we do kind of steep decline, I may be thinking about buying it, buying the dip around 132, 133-ish. I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen. I'm saying if we do come down, that's the level I'll be looking. Tesla, what's happening in Tesla is pretty much sandwiched between this and that, kind of a symmetrical triangle pattern, and so I think it has a little bit higher probability of breaking to the upside because it's been in an uptrend and we're kind of consolidating. But trust me, guys, it's not going to be picture perfect, beautiful, pretty breakout. It could do a lot of shenanigans. Like it could break down, kind of fakes everybody out and get up. It could break up, fakes everybody out, get down. So just keep that in mind. That's what's happening. Tesla, Netflix, Netflix, kind of right now what's happening is this, this channel, right? We initially broke above it, and then we break down, and that channel is acting as a resistance. So let's see, this needs to gap back up for this thing to continue. Otherwise, if it starts falling back, we may retest these lows, and then we got the rising channel support at around 160-ish level. So that's it's pretty much still, we're still bullish in an uptrend, though we are, Netflix is dealing with kind of an overbought territory right now. So potentially be, I can't say it's gonna crash down, maybe some kind of a consolidation. or something like this. I don't know, but this is definitely not a level that I want to start buying Netflix. I mean, unless you're very, very short term. Facebook is same story. It's just extremely overbought. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. It just, this is not a level that I want to buy Facebook here. So let's move on. Amazon, you know, I think Amazon, a little bit of a concerning signal for Amazon is that long tail. But what we're not seeing, so you see that long tail there, right? What we're not seeing is we haven't seen follow through. Last time we saw that doji, we saw that follow through to the downside. We see that long wick. We haven't seen it. Doesn't mean it can't come. It can still come here. So last time we saw that kind of a long wick here, right here back in 2011, we did see a little bit of pullback, but you know, it's tough to say. It could be a kind of a consolidation before moving higher, but we are dealing with kind of extremely overbought territory. Again, this is not the level I want to buy Amazon here. Again, unless you're a very short-term, quick swing trade, but anything long-term, what, you know, so if we do pull back to 846, maybe the level that I might be thinking about. Google, I'll let you guys go. Let's see. Google's been consolidating. We are holding, we've been talking about this level here. We're holding that level, prior resistance, and we talked about it, I think, several market update. We talked about how Google moves. It goes up and it consolidates, goes up again, consolidates again, goes up, consolidates, and then goes up again. So that's kind of how, and you can see the consolidation right there, goes up, move up, go consolidation. That's how Google moves, and that tells me. See, Google is such a, not just, even just looking at a technical perspective, such a solid company. You can see it how it doesn't go straight up. It gets these rests in between and gets this. It makes this kind of a solid channel and solid this consolidation pattern before moving higher, you know. So this is a great stock for anybody who's been holding this for long term, like since maybe way down here, like maybe 90, 100 or something like that. It's a solid price action. It's not as vulnerable as like Amazon or Facebook. We don't have any bearish divergence like Apple. It just seems very, very solid. Looks like we potentially be maybe forming another consolidation here. So that's everything for me. Hope you enjoy this weekend and good luck trading next week.